See, I've been trying to say something for the past, oh, it seems like it's building up right ever since um, the nodes went into the Venus-Mars rulership signs, which is Aries and Libra. And I forget now, if I don't know, if I just look at it really quick, is it, what the hell just happened? I've been hinting at that, um, that there is a chance, and I know this sounds really amazingly like far out, where you're like, there's a chance that there could possibly emerge a human society or civilization out of the organism that is here that has that potential. And we see plenty of effort or like holding of languages and stuff in books that suggests that this might be what we're here to do, like just in general, because then if we achieve that state of becoming human, which these are just words now, because now, like I said, the wording is here that kind of breaks it down. It keeps breaking it down. It says, well, it's love is the natural state of being human. So that means love is human, and then enlightenment is it. And really, there is just the natural state of enlightenment if we knew what that meant, what that entailed as far as enlightenment. What are we lightening ourselves up of from or whatever? So, but um, getting back to just staying in general, that that it's possible, kids, that we can there can emerge. The clock is ticking, but there can still emerge the possibility one person might be able to turn it around, or really it's many. Just get the idea. See, but there's many keys to fit to be able to remind the entire organism of something very simple that because I mean, boy, you want to get on the right team, right? You want to be smart. Everybody wants to do good. Really, that's just the child's nature, whether it be a woman or a man. One thing you notice about little boys is they're so eager to know how to do it as soon as possible. It seems it's just they just need to be shown, and just show them everything physically, let them hold on to it and do it. A lot of people don't do that. They're always sheltering them too much and thinking that they can't do that. It's like, no, right away. And don't give them a toy version. Make them hold the real one, and pretty soon you'll get into it too. But anyway, point being is that they need to get into their physical body and the physical world as soon as possible. Everybody does, really. It's just really getting into getting past the mind and learning how the mind learns, which is through experiences. You got to get in your body first and get a load of everything and go through it, and so you don't live fearfully. The mind is just fear, and that's all you would stay in. And a lot of people learn from just mental escaping, and it's like no, no, you do eventually have an experience, right? I mean, anybody knows that with any kind of tool working and stuff. Usually it's like, get out of the way and let me work it and do something that is even better than the teacher teaches, right? For sure. That's when you know it's a good teacher, is that they were allowed to get better than them. Getting back to, yeah, what I keep talking about, which is like, but I'm kind of going off of autobiography as a woman standpoint. And I'm like, no, excuse me. We do not even let a narcissist in because first of all we get that gut feeling, and they're all around kind of disrespectful, right? There's something that's just utterly repulsive, right? That you would never, they don't have a conversation about, well, let alone enlightenment. But then you start listening to how they treat relationships, and then where are they coming from the experience. If you're getting deeper, like the intimate experience, it's kind of off, and a little bit something missing, right? Red flag can happen. um, but so let's just talk about how that's natural, that a man doesn't know his way around a woman's body, and she has to after a while. And see, she needs to oh God, this fucking conversation. How do I just make it simple to teach people that the woman brings a man up into being a humane being through her sex. There are two sexes, and one of them has that profound responsibility because, in case kids, sorry, I'm just getting frustrated how I just can't round it up into the simple fucking thing so that the 5-year-old can understand. I'm excited to get it over with, right? You know, like there's a lot of distraction going on. And I really, God, I have to say, Patsy, thank you so much for sending me that video of that man talking about the bonobo ape. You see, because I remembered the bonobo ape when I started looking at it. I knew about this ape a long time ago. See, the way that they have documented though, and they speak about it in documentaries, is that they just say, oh, they like to bone everything. The males, they're boning each other. Yeah, that's it. And it's like, no, what's happening is they're a boning society. I mean, they're feeling good. That's all they're doing, and it's not violent, So what the thing you sent me is the real studies of the tribes there, of their intelligence that says it's because women are running the place. And like I said, if you're following my material, I swear I'm kind of sitting back in the background all my life, but I kind of, God, can we hold our sacred space, right? The thing is it doesn't mean you just go celibate and never let anybody in. See, there's a time when the narcissist approaches, and perhaps you do want a friend, right? And you have no idea, but it's like this dance. I am trying to talk about right at the spigot. When I talked about right at the spigot, you can go back and look at it. And I want to make a. Somebody can help me now. Just like the videos that you come across that talks about the spigot and where it's all starting, as far as in case you wanted a human civilization to emerge, it's not happening with childbirth. See, she has to make sure to turn that narcissist into a human being. A narcissist is not human, the ones that we talk about that are southerly and that we have a problem with. Now, I'm now gonna go so far to say, Jesus, help me, please. You're fucked, kid. You're fucked. Really? Yeah, just come with me. Okay. What I was about to say is that before I get interrupted by that over there, I'm stopping while I'm ahead, but I've already talked about it here. And that Patsy that sends me that video, I know that you're probably catching it algorithmically in your head, the things that I'm kind of touching off at, and I don't really make an entire condensed video about it, because it's extremely sensitive subject matter. I am in no way biased or prejudiced in any way. I don't hate people. No, not a single bone in my body is capable of that. Didn't just say that I don't defend myself against. Like I said, it's like you just have a gut feeling, and you just do not, especially you don't reproduce, right, with something that can't care for you, right? You just don't care for things that don't care for you, and that's what the bonobo fucking ape is doing. It makes just too much sense now, to the point where people are going to be rolling their eyes, and it's like, no, this more and more, this like formula. It's vital that the organism aligns with the truth about how we're created, what God created here as men and women. Just in general, if you look at their body types and you find something familiar between the legs, and I'm sorry, it's just there's two things happening. Okay, there's either a woman or a man. Pretty sure. I mean, I know that there's other like like a woman. God, weird subject matter, please. See, it just makes entirely. See, now it just clicks together to me. It's because I've been doing husbandry. It's a big fucking. Of course, you do not reproduce a civilization um with violent, or say um a, a disrespectful vibration of doing husbandry. See, now that term husbandry, I mean, I've always looked at that. It's like, why do they call it husbandry? They're trying to point at it. It's like, well, you animals, it's called husbandry. You're gonna have to you should not reproduce with that person, that non-human entity coming at you, quite possibly an unenlightened person who is just a mental only, mind only. Men are just minds only at first, quite possibly. Yes, in a very subtle way. Just you have to pull them up, and the woman does that through her sex. Her sex, not his. She has to put up with his, right? It's like, if you remember, if any kind of a real woman like I am, it's like, okay, eventually you're like, and it comes up. It's like, well, would you like to have sex with me now? Would you like to let me have sex with you? And it's like, do you want to have sex with me now? Because they are just doing their thing. And it's like, okay, get down with your bad self. I don't know, really, that's my experience. So, it's a very personal thing, but it's like, you have to be sure that you're having a good time as a woman, your body, you honor your orgasm. You're making sure that that person is going to hold that space for you, even interested in how you feel, because that's a high vibrational frequency, the orgasm, and that whole joyous situation. I'm sorry, it's joyous, right? It's a joyous thing, and very healthy thing to do to create a smile on people's face. It's supposed to. I say this and talk about it's like, don't people know this? It's like sex is like eating. Just when you do it the healthy way and the right way, which is at least give each other an orgasm. What are you doing there? Sorry, but see, this is to program in case you want a humane civilization. You do it through joy. You don't do it through pain and suffering and jealousy and all this misunderstanding. Would you just get away? Like the bonobo ape, they just shut out the people that can't seem to share. They can't seem to get it, to just feel good, to see, they're not having sex to reproduce only. They're doing it like, oh my God, 6 times a day or something. And so anyway, God, what a shitty subject matter, because it's like, I'm a 50-year-old woman. I've almost past my sexual peak as far as that. I mean, and been there, done that, and satiated as hell, and trying to come to you from a place that's nobody's business. But if it happens to be something that, we need to put it up on the table through this or whatever, write a book about it, because it might be the key to saving, or at least, now I'm really serious about this. If you want to start a human civilization, if you want to get some human beings going here on the planet and get that to outnumber what is just lying dormant, it's not awakened yet. It's a good way to say it. And like I said, I really don't know. I don't know if this place is even meant for that. See, like I said, I think that, it's a school where when you become human, when you finally achieve becoming love, you don't have children here. Um, you just don't. If you do, you have passed on a higher vibrational frequency, and that child suffers a bit because they are probably human too, and they are outcasted, right? It's very hard to make it here as a human being. It really is. And you suffer a lot. You're an artist. You can do some things to influence, right? And that's truly who is being piggyback rode by the non-human occupation. And now we take away just men and women being there. There's something else off in the, like, other dimensions that is, perhaps, taking control of the organism's minds. The side that is prone to the mind, which happens to be men, that if there is one small tainted part of that person's perception, that part of the organism's programming about, particularly the first learning about their mother, which is the image of the woman, if there's one little slight little wiring thing, see, if it's bad enough, it could be a really hard time for when he's moving and trying to get into the woman's world, like sexually. She has to be aware that the reprogramming happens. It really does. It happens. And you want to reprogram a man, Women are responsible, and she does that through her sex. A certain kind now, what she's doing is she's saying, oh, 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 oh. She has to hold him off. That's just the fact. If you ever experience being a woman and you have a man coming at you, it's like they get they can be aggressive, right? But you have to take the bull by the horns and know that it's completely awkward at first, and then it seems like after 6 months you say, okay, so I mean, hey, do you know anything about an orgasm? That's her. That's where I say that she has to communicate. She has to. That's her. That's how she's built. She doesn't really use her body, but yes, she does, right? She has her. That's all she has is her sexuality. If you notice, I mean, God, this subject matter, babes. So I'm going to put this around about the 15th, and I really just appreciate, because this is actually January 30th, and I'm putting it way ahead, and I should actually just put it on January 30th, because we are moving forth in a rapid pace clip of this kind of understanding, and it's important to try to get it out in the air and people clicking in to the possibility. Really, I'm here to empower myself, keep myself empowered as a woman. As difficult it has been this whole life, I can write a autobiography on a lot of stuff, because my mind would logically say, well, I want to be the one who has the funner time, and it looks like men have just, they're all free and they're hang gliding and riding horses or doing whatever, doing chainsaw, and it's like, well, got that out of my mind, because I continue to do that. I just be really physical. I'm always physical. I'm just a Mars world person. I mean, it's interesting. There's different aspects of us. Some of us can be uh, kind of more masculine as women, but it doesn't mean that we're not still women. And it's the same with men. They can just be more feminine as men, but it doesn't mean that they're not a man. It means that they're probably a superior type, because they have a awareness and a tinge of the other, that's a balance and not lopsided. Good geometry, maybe. God. And I do. I think that this here subject matter needs to be, it will bust right wide open. What we worry about is lies and propaganda about, like, things that will come out on a massive collective broadcast, the way that they know how to do it, even through social media, but the television set, and getting ready to trigger off people's perception about this type of thing, that would either work to some people would just say, no, see, we need to get this out more about men and women. That's all. I mean, I kind of say it. It's like, well, what else is there but men and women on this planet, and what's the problem? There's a problem with the organism on the planet. Some kind of imbalance, yes. It's not aliens, like I said. It's not aliens and superhuman, blah blah. It's just, is the darn thing able to access its human potential. There's just a potential here to be human. There's just a potential, and women, not just by giving birth, but by their sex, the very sex that they have to transform that narcissist into being a humane being who says, yeah, actually, I want to know what you need. I want to see you smile too. I didn't come here for just me. See, that's like, okay, bingo. You're a sane person. Otherwise, that person doesn't care about you, is using you as an object in their head, right? I mean, it's the common roll your eyes like, of course, blah blah blah. That's what's going on. No, it isn't. You should not be breeding with that. You should be taking birth control until that person can show you that he can sit still for you, and let you do whatever you need to do to get a smile on your face. And I didn't just say, oh my God, abuse that person and, do something completely psycho. We're talking about just love making here. Normal stuff, it's weird, because it's like there is that faction. It's like, yeah, I can do whatever I want, really, because I really like.
I can't wait to just hold still, please.
You know what I'd say? Like, no, we're talking about what God has given us. Have you just, God, get me out of here, will you please?